What is up, dudes, dudettes, and all the beautiful people of the interwebs? Bloody Nux here, aka the Gothic Gamer of LV1 Gaming, back with another review. You know, trying to survive in the end of the world is already hard enough. Trying to fight off zombies, scrounge for supplies, fight for your life, trying not to die. You know, the usual things. However, sometimes you gotta add the possibility of, being a little bit more cautious, a little bit more strategic, and a lot of other things not really making it easy, as you would say here. But when you're trying to find a rumored city where safety is, would you be willing to risk it all? Would you try to fight across this hell on earth? Well, thanks to Days of Doom, you can do just that here. And this is our Days of Doom review, where you take a trip across this apocalyptic romp trying to survive the hordes or succumb into the wastelands. Is it worth your time? Maybe. Keep on watching and you'll find out. Now note, there is going to be some slight spoiler ahead, so watch at your own risk. So the story of Days of Doom starts out like any other. The end of times is upon us, the world we once knew is gone and replaced with something new, weird, and all sorts of insane. Plenty of things are trying to kill you. Zombies, raiders, reptile people, just the usual end of times kind of thing here. However, despite all this, there is just a lot of people still just trying to live their life, trying to get by, doing what they can here to survive. Trying to make a life out of what's left. These survivors have been changed, having new abilities, new possibilities, new appreciations for life, just trying to cut out whatever existence they can left. And all of them are just trying to do whatever they can to make it to the rumored city of Sanctuary, a safe haven amongst the end of times. It's all just a matter of being able to plan carefully, making the right decisions, and being sparingly with all your resources. Now, the setup for Days of Doom is very standard. Let's be 100% honest. This end of times, apocalyptic, end of the world kind of scenario, rumored city where everyone is able to be happy, safe, and all that. It's very par for the course. And while there's a lot of humor injected into it, it's still very much your standard trope of any post-apocalyptic game. It's one we've seen dozens of times. It has its own quirkiness about it, but it's a formula that's very tried and true. And with just the story just being that, it doesn't stand out much on its own. It has its own charm, for sure, but it's nothing that's groundbreaking. Which is a shame, because there's a lot of potential here if they put more into the story. But being a roguelite, it's about the story you make, not the story that's presented to you. Of course, they could have done way more with the story if they really wanted to. Now, the visuals of Days of Doom are very vibrant, bright, colored, comic book style aesthetic. A lot of heavy use of dark lines with a 2D art that just pops. I'm talking like bright colors. And you know what? It really sells the look and feel of the game. The designs of all the characters here you add to your team are very campy and over-exaggerated, from the hulking physique of the fighter or the Raider Colossus to the magic of the Hydromancer and others. I was like, everyone's designed too from their outfits. You have the very traditional Raider style, spiky armor, of course, and then you have someone like the Gunslinger who looks like your traditional Wastelander. Full hood, robes all the way down, got a gas mask and everything. It's all very unique, especially with the cell shading to make it all pop. And while there is a lot of heavy emphasis on those dark lines and that comic book style, there's still so much work that went into all the details of the characters. Everyone has little touches that really adds to their personality, like the fact that the fighter is a family man, and that you can actually see that in his backpack he has a teddy bear, something that may be tied to a child, who knows, as well as the detail like on the gas masks of the gunslingers. I think is just phenomenal. The armor and detail for all of the raider classes, as well as even the enemies that you run across, whether they're reptiles or even some of the zombies. Every detail really gives a sense of nuance into them. And the backgrounds are really nicely done too. They create a very they're very well done for what they are. They have a very basic outline, whether it's something that's set near broken houses or in the woods or anything else like that. The art is reused. It's just that while the detailed backgrounds are kind of set, the arenas that's used for combat is not much to do. They just use the same background, just added with a few different, you know, objects and obstacles throughout the map. There's not a lot of variation or complexity in the designs that allow the art to really stand out for the backgrounds. It just turns out to be just large square areas with a few obstacles changed around here, which is a shame because I felt like they could have done way more. Now, the sound design in the game is absolutely lovely. I love the background music. Like, I always say that really well done OSTs help to create wonderful atmospheres. And the ambiance in Days of Doom helps to really set it. There's a lot of times where you get this soft rock style melody here with that grows in some fights, reaching a very well done crescendo, and you even hear the sounds of a banjo to help sell this kind of rock appeal. That just sounds so good. It creates a wonderful feeling of survival and a journey that one would expect here. It just draws me in, and I lost myself to a lot of the music here. Now, as for the sounds of combat, it's hit or miss. The abilities are cool and everything else flashy, but the sounds, not so much here. But I mean, it's not trying to be realistic, it's not trying to do anything like that, so I wouldn't expect it to be. Now, as for the gameplay, I always say gameplay is king, and honestly, I really enjoyed what I played. The game is very much a roguelike strategy game, so each run you choose a squad, you take it out with you into the wastelands as you make your way towards Sanctuary. However, you'll have to manage your resources, such as the gas, which is how you move from point to point across the map. You have to be careful with your resources, because if you run out, it's game over. So you have to also not only that, but manage your squad in combat, having the option to move them around before you start, as well as how you kind of maneuver them around to find the right placement to avoid unnecessary damage and other stuffs here, positioning to take advantage of the terrain and the environmental hazards. There's just so much complexity when it comes to the combat and the strategic aspect of it here, as well as while you're moving around, you have a map that you can choose around and kind of look to go to different things. So you'll obviously run to combat, you'll run into periodic random events and all sorts of other things here that can sometimes offer help. You may run into people that may need help. You can offer to trade for other supplies. You may run across something that may give you runes, or you may run into raiders that you can probably trade with or fight. Who knows? Sometimes you can find all sorts of different things here, as well as the merchant that you can go and trade with for some of those supplies and stuff that you've accumulated to get new benefits, such as runes that offer a lot of advantages for your stats, whether that's increasing your attack, your defense, your movement, or even giving you newer abilities such as being able to add ailments to your attacks. There's just so much there that offers a lot of these offer a lot of abilities to be able to really shape your characters to be the way that you want them to be so different and vast that no run will be the same. Like many other games in this genre, like Darkest Dungeon, you unlock new classes, you earn currency to buy and expand at your base that allows you to have more items to carry on your trip, or be able to add more people to your squad. There's just so many different available options and complexity to it that makes it so fun that even some of the runes and abilities that you get on one run may not be what you get on the next one, but you may find an even better build that you like here. There's just so many different options. Overall, I loved my time with my Days of Doom review. There were spots where I feel it could be improved, but everything was enjoyable. Sure, it's a story that's hard to reinvent with the world ending, and whatever it lacks in the story, it makes up for in its aesthetic, its OST, and its absolutely wonderful roguelite strategy gameplay loop. There's something fun and deep of an experience for veterans of the genre as well as newcomers. This is definitely something for people who may not have dabbled into that too much, for them to be able to jump in and really enjoy. And I want to thank the team over at Atari for providing us the key for our review to be able to use for the review here today. The game does launch and is available on Xbox consoles on Series X and S, Xbox One, PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, as well as on PC through Steam and Epic Game Store. Now, if you want to see more reviews that we've done here, you can find them all down on here on our channel. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And you can also find the links to all of our socials down below as well. But until next time, guys, this has been Bloody Nux, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Later!